So this is the start of a new project to build the world's fastest RC car. So the record at the moment is 202 miles per hour with this car here. And we're going to try and beat that record with this. And it's going to need many modifications. So the plan is to get rid of that motor and install 2 of these. One to the front diff and one directly to the rear diff. Then 2 ESCs, loads of batteries, loads of horsepower, and then just hope for the best. So a lot of people said there's no way I'm going to get 200 miles an hour with an open-wheeled car. So I've already got this body shell here. This is a GT1 body, and we're going to see more of that a little bit later. But for now, let's start stripping this car down and see how we're going to mount these motors. Alright, we've kind of made space for the motors now, so we're going to put one in this side and another one in here. We've got to trim a little bit out the battery tray so that it fits down. I'm going to temporarily take this brace off just to make some room to work in there. So to link up the motors, I'm going to put a drive cup onto the motor pinion shaft here. This is the exact same part as this part here, but this one here is made by M2C Racing out of hardened tool steel. So it'll be interesting to see how it lasts compared to a stock one. And then to couple it together, I've got a couple of these short little stumpy Techno drive shafts. And then we're going to use a bit of aluminium angle to make our own motor mounts. Now this is Martin's idea. I completely stole the idea from Martin with the drive cup and the little shaft and the angle. So massive shout out to Martin, link to his channel down below. So to get the motor to mount a bit lower down, we just got to cut a little bit out of these battery trays here, look. So there we go, the motor sits down. These motors only just barely fit in there. But if we have a look at this front drive shaft angle, it is really steep. So I'm going to cut a hole in the chassis. Boom! Check it out. Now we can mount it so that drive shaft sits perfectly straight. Beautiful! So next we're going to cut a bit of this angle off and use that as a motor mount. So next we've got to mount this bit of angle here to the chassis, and then we can mount the motor onto that. To get the perfect hole centers and everything, I think I'm going to remove this front plate here from this motor, then we can drill through the holes. I could do it to this motor, but I don't really want to take this one apart. I will one day, then we can have a look to see what's in there. So I think first of all we're going to make the centre hole where the shaft goes through. We can put a drill bit through here to mock up the motor shaft. Put the drive cup on the end of that. Then put the drive shaft in. And then we can get that motor in the perfect position to get that drive shaft as straight as possible. Martin's build, he had the motor mounted a little bit high, so there was a slight angle on the drive shaft, and that really heated it up. We're planning on going 200 miles an hour with this, so we got to keep everything as efficient as possible. So we are looking pretty good. Look at that drive shaft angle. That's looking a lot better now. The only thing is, it is sitting on the back of the chassis, on the back of the motor. And if we have a look underneath the motor mount, there is a slight gap under there. So I'm going to bolt it up anyway, see how it comes out. Maybe it'll pull it nice and straight. But otherwise, I may well just cut a little bit more out the chassis, just so that the motor can sort of sit flush with the bottom of the car. Boom! There we go, guys. That is one motor mounted. So now I'm going to do the same again for the rear, but I'm not going to bother filming it because it's the same process. Guys, check it out. We are mounted. And check that out. The rear drive shaft is almost perfectly in line. And if we have a look at the front one, it's almost perfect, but because we got a little bit of a kick up on the front here, we couldn't get it fully perfect. Check it out, guys. It's like the whole entire sent off to cars. It's just motor. 3200 kV, direct drive, and the possibility of maybe going up to 12S. Oh dear. Tyre wise, there's no way that the stock tyres or any rubber tyres that I know of are going to be able to hold up to anywhere near the speed that we're planning on going. I think these are probably going to explode at around about 130, 140 maybe, something like that. So I've got these foam tyres here. The world record car actually used foam tyres, but he had custom made carbon fibre rims. I'm just going to go with plastic and hope for the best. Now they are a slightly bigger diameter than the stock rubber tyres, but being foam, we can actually lave it down and turn it right down. And I think that may well be the way to go. So we're going to run it as it is for now. Oh man, these motors have got some compression. Guys, this is going to go. So here we can see the motors from the bottom. So I think I can get away with not cutting this out. The actual angle, once it's all bolted up, doesn't look too bad. I could have probably gotten away with cutting less out of the rear part of the chassis, but I suppose at least this way is going to get a bit more cooling. No idea what it's going to do for aerodynamics, but I guess we will see. Now, without any of the chassis stiffeners, the whole chassis is quite flexible, but we can get the centre brace back on, so let's see what that does. Boom! Perfect. Probably not going to be that great in a crash, but then if you go in that speed, the whole thing's going to be totaled anyway. So next, let's have a look at the new body, because apparently with this open wheel designed, the maximum speed that people have been getting is around about 150 mile an hour. Then the air gets under it, I don't know if the tyres upset it or whatever, and the whole thing just lifts off. So this is a Toyota GT1 body. I'm not really sure how it's going to fit with that wing. We're going to have to do some sort of trimming or something to get it to work. So around the back here, I've seen people cut slots into this body so that you can still fit the stock rear wing. I'm not fully sure how I'm going to do it yet. I know I'm going to have to remove quite a lot of downforce from it, because when we go in that sort of speed, we don't really want too much downforce. We just want the fins, I believe, to keep it straight and keep it level. But for now, I think we're just going to remove the wing assembly, mount the body shell, and then worry about how we're going to remount the wing afterwards. Now, this body is very thin. It's only 1mm. It would have been nice if it was a bit thicker, but that's all they really had in stock. But I don't know, maybe they make a thicker one. Who knows? But we're going to be doing the drywall and shoe modifications, so that's going to stiffen it up a little bit. So the wheelbase looks good. So for now, I'm just going to cut it out, but I'm going to rough cut it. So that's the body roughly cut out. It's definitely sitting way, way, way too high. I think for the purpose of mounting the body, I'm going to put the stock wheels back on because they're actually a bit smaller, and these are going to be smaller by the time we turn them down. Ideally, I want to be able to cut this whole section here off, because this here looks like a big air brake. If we can get rid of that, the aerodynamics are going to be a lot nicer. By the looks of it, we've got about a thumb's worth of plastic there, and we got over a thumb's worth of plastic there, so we should be able to cut all of that off, but I'm not going to do it all in one go just in case I've ruined the body. I might cut half of it off first, and then we're going to do the other half in a minute. Round the back, I'm actually tempted to cut the whole rear end out, just in case any air does get inside the body. It doesn't just sort of like act like a big air brake inside, all the air can just come out. Oh, that's better, guys. Also, it's going to let some heat out. We're getting there, guys. I think it's stopping now here on the shock tops, but if we take these off, the body should be able to go down even lower. Check it out. Now we've got loads more body clearance, so we can cut off even more. But guys, I'm going to do all this off camera now, cutting all this out. I'm not going to bore you with it all, so I'm just going to mess about with it, and then we'll get you back on once I've got it nicely fitted. Oh, right, so I've got the body shell almost mounted now. I've cut a little bit off of the shock towers here, look, because it was hitting the body shell. I put the holes in there, and all in all, it's sitting pretty good. I've got a slight gap under here, maybe. I shouldn't have cut so much off the body, but I want to try and bring that front end down a bit. Maybe we'll put another body clip in the front here somewhere just to pin that down to stop the air getting in. And maybe even run a bead of sealant across the front here, just to sort of give it a bit of a scoop to let the air go over it. Still got to cut out the arches, still got to cut some off the bottom, but I'm not going to do that yet because I want to really fill this lot in and get rid of all this gap here. Maybe I'll get some of these mud guards like we got on the Infraction. Maybe I'll just put a bit of carbon fibre across. I'm not really fully sure yet. Also, with the rear wing, with the body there, it doesn't really mount in the stock location anymore. It's sort of like sitting like an inch too far back. So what do you reckon, guys? Should I mount it an inch further back and have it looking like that? I think that looks pretty cool. And it's probably going to help it keep it in a straight line as well, having it further back. Or shall I cut some slots in the body shell and just move it forward and kind of mount it where it's supposed to be mounted? Obviously, I'm going to get rid of this, guys, and just going to put a flat piece across there. So we're going to do all that in the next video. Also, in the next video, we're going to mount the ESCs. Not fully sure yet which ESCs we're going to mount. I'm probably going to play about with it a little bit, but I've got enough space to have one here and one here. And we've got to make a servo mount here and a receiver mount here, but that's all going to be in the next video. So make sure you subscribe and smash the bell so that you don't miss it, because remember, guys, we're going after the world record, and even if we don't pull it off, it's still going to be a hell of a laugh trying. It's probably going to be crashes and carnage and oh god knows, I haven't got a clue, guys. Anything could happen. Anyway, guys, I'll see you over in one of these videos here in a sec.